We're coming back just to recap the activity for the day. The strategy today was set up for short. I was really thinking that the short was going to materialize when we came up to the first level projected by the IB over here. And as it turned out, we went higher before we came back down. This is not a very good pattern for a red day up. This could have materialized more prominently and brought us down. It didn't. But we want to show you what the premium was doing after that real nice short signal up here. So let's go over to the strategy. And there we are. Okay, so that's where that short materialized. Right at the top. Beautiful automated signal. And it made money, but as you watch the premium here, as we came down, let's just bring us down to this low. All right. So look at the premium. Now you see how the premium drops nicely. We cycle up a little bit, that's fine. And now the real critical thing is for us to drop lower than we were here. All right. And if you just look at the numbers for JMA4, that's at about negative 33. So now we come down to this low and look at where we're at now. And it manages to get a little bit lower right in here. And now we're at 24, negative 24. We were at negative 33. We're at a higher low. This is just not going to work. So that's short in as much as we were hoping that it was going to materialize. It really failed to do so. But now as we went back up, and again, the strategy was not set for taking long trades today. Doesn't mean that we couldn't have changed it to generate long trades. I just didn't. But you could see here that the premium is going long here at this low. So there was a good reason for you to recognize that this market is going back up. Now, when it finally did come back up to the high, notice what happened. We got a short automated signal here at 86 and a quarter. It made it up to 87 and a quarter here at the pivot. And then we got another automated signal here. And that one finally did generate a very nice short, and it didn't go long again until here. Now this strategy was set up slightly differently. So let me go ahead and just show you what we'd used for these particular settings. Now the setting that I use to eliminate the noise is a very slow moving average on the ES. Now we've created a 4-bar or 4-line moving average with a fast setting and then 3 slower settings, 500, 1000, and 5000. And that's what's producing the lines here. It's a Jordan moving average. It works very well for establishing the trend, and it will eliminate you going in the wrong direction. If you think the market is short, which we were thinking this morning, that we were going to come down more prominently, we used this moving average here, which is set to 5,000. Now, obviously, if we wanted to go long, we could have used one of the other moving averages and we would have done fine. And you could have seen, especially this low on the premium, quite nicely. And when it ran up, all you would have gotten was long signals on the way up. In fact, we could have just gotten long signals all the way, from the low at the open, if we would have used this moving average. But all of the same, that's just not the way I chose to play the game today. But now notice what happened. As this market finally did short, the moving average turned up. This very slow moving average finally did turn up. So while we caught the short here, we also caught the long. And that's why it generated both both a short and a long signal toward the tail end of the day. That's why you got that signal here. Okay, perfect. That was perfect. So the actual settings inside the strategy are very simple. Let's take a look at that. So to bring that up, I go here to the strategy, and in this particular case, I've named this strategy for a particular pattern. It's called the red day pattern, okay? And a red day is really what this was looking like it was going to prove to be with the highs in the last half hour, since the lows were in the first half hour. And sometimes in a red day pattern, you don't get a lot of volatility. And so to try to get in on the move, we've got to use some very easy settings within the strategy. So now I'm going to bring up the easy language code for this. And this is the code. This is open source. But I'm going to come down to here and show you what the actual settings were. So I've created two different primary conditions to generate signals in this strategy. One is referred to as condition 25 for a long, and condition 27. And that is made up of these specific conditions. What we refer to here as L2 and L7. Now L2 refers to the stochastic on a 50-tick chart. Okay, for a long trade, it will generate a long signal if the stochastic on the 50-tick chart, this is very easy to achieve, is less than 4. But also, we want the CCX to be below negative 100, and that's on a 250-tick chart. Okay. Then in addition to that, we have these primary conditions that we use for the premium, condition 81, 83, and 85. And so if you go up here to the code, here's the conditions for the premium. L10 is a stochastic, is the CCX on the 50-tick ES chart. Okay, and all we're looking for is the trend to be up. The trend on the rest of these settings is all on the premium. We've got an RSX JMA. We want the trend to be up there. We want the trend of the moving average on the 50-tick chart with one of our moving averages. That needs to be long. The second moving average also needs to be long. The third moving average needs to be long, but it also needs to be less than the fourth moving average. That value, when it turns up, has to be less. And then finally, the major trend, which we just showed you on the ES 1-minute chart, which was this here. Okay, that's the conditions. So all of this, condition 81, is all of these conditions put together. Condition 83 is very similar, but there's just a slight difference in the setup of the premium. Instead of L25, we are using L26, which is, again, this trend. That trend has to be up. And then our condition 85, again, almost identical, but just one slight difference. 21, 24, 25, 26, and 27. So all of those conditions, with the exception of 23, were plugged into that condition. So when we combine it, all right, together with L2 and L7, we get condition 25, okay? And then condition 27 is just slightly different. That generates the signal. So very easy for it to generate trades in that particular case, and we get some beautiful signals off of it. So that's what we did, and this panned out late in the day. We were just a little premature here, but right on the money here, and they all made money. Not bad. Okay, so that's it for today. By all means, if you're interested in this kind of setup, it's an open source code. We want you to be able to see how the strategies are set up, and give you that ability to adjust the strategies, create your own as well, using excellent indicators, and especially by making sure that you're following the premium when you're setting up these strategies. So we'll look forward to another good day tomorrow. I'm Rod Kusin and Spoon for Risk.